I woke up this morning and I had a thought, so I'm going to share it with you as a guyism. I am a bit of a self help aholic, addict. I'm not really sure how to classify it, but if I were to explain it, it goes something like this. Never in my life have I felt like I have had it all figured out. Never in my life have I felt like I am the best that I could be. I've always felt like there was something else. Not in a bad way, not in a negative way. I mean, I've had that too, but not like, oh, I suck, not like a victim. That's not what I mean. I just mean, there's no way that I could have thought of all the ways to do things that would be the best way for me. So it's funny because Wendy would ask me and she would say, Guy, how are you always so certain of yourself? You're so cocksure. And I said, well, honey, you have to feel that way about your opinions and the things that you think and the things that you have experience with. And you also need to realize that you may not be right, but take a stand. Don't pretend like you haven't thought of it because there's a lot of shit that I have thought about. I mean, my brain is going all of the time, taking in, observing, watching, listening, seeing how other people do things. That's how I spent my whole childhood. It was like a smorgasbord of personalities. And, from that, I took the things that I liked and I discarded the things that I didn't like. So I'm not sure. But the caveat there is that I am always listening to people. And there's two ways that those things can end. If somebody comes to me with a thought or an idea or a concept that I've never thought of before, or I've never felt myself, there's two ways I can go about dealing with that. The first is, wow, that is pretty interesting. I would have never come up with that on my own. You've just opened my eyes, but I disagree. And thanks for sharing. And the second way would be, you just blew my mind. I mean, I don't know how I've made it this far in my life without knowing that. That's going to help me. I'm going to take that and I'm going to carry it with me from here on in. So, being this self help enthusiast, alcoholic, aholic, or whatever you want to call, I just have a couple of my books, that I've read over the years. The Obstacle is the Way. The One Thing, Science of Self Discipline, one of my favorites. Fuck Feelings, love that one. Self help, stuff that works, chapter by chapter, different things in every chapter. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, I like that one. Stop doing that shit. That's just a smattering of the books that I have. So from that, I wanted to share some of the things that I've learned. And by no means am I an expert in all of this. I am constantly working on these things every single day. That's why I hate it when people say things like, not to me, but to anybody, without a lot of thought going into it. Oh my God, that's so easy for you. It's so hard for, like it always was. Couldn't it be that that person has been working hard to be that way? Or do you think that that's just part of their DNA? It was in their gene pool. It's usually not the case. But some of the things that I wanted to share with you is if something is bothering me, I mean, seriously bothering me, not just a little whimsical thing, somebody cut me off, but if it's bothering me after 24 hours and I'm still thinking about it and I can't get out of my head, I need to say something within 48 hours to the person about whatever it is, because I find that if I stuff it down, it just turns into resentment, and resentment comes out ugly. The second thing is treating myself, like somebody I'm responsible for, because I really take care of people that I'm responsible for very well, but I'm not so good at taking care of myself. And so that's a lesson that I've been trying to incorporate in my life. And it's a hard one. It really is. A bad 5 minutes is not a bad day. and you shouldn't turn it into a bad day. A bad day is not a bad week or month or a life. Don't over exaggerate, the difficult times. Take them for what they are. Let them rain down on you. Feel them. Try to understand it. Get help. Talk to somebody. Ask for help if you can. But don't turn a bad 5 minutes into a bad day. Ask yourself, and this is a really hard one for me, if this will matter in a month, in 6 months, in a year. It's so hard. Yeah, that eliminates a lot of things because most of the time the answer is no. It won't matter in a month. But what I'm saying is do not leave unresolved issues unresolved. If it's something that's pestering you, and even if you think it's trivial or petty, deal with it. And don't let it fester. That gets ugly. It's I think it's not possible to be both grateful and anxious at the same time. So when anxiety arises in my life, I try to focus on finding things that I'm grateful for. And that's harder than it seems. But I really do. I hate the expression, oh, I'm so blessed. But it's true here. I do feel truly blessed. I am not, going with what my parents said, there's starving kids in Africa, so eat your Brussels sprouts. I'd say, I'll put them in a box and send them to Africa. I'll pay for it. So that stuff doesn't work for me, and I would never use it on my kids or anybody else. But there are plenty of things to be grateful for every day. I mean, we saw this incredible sunset on the way to visit friends up in Minnesota, and I still can't believe how beautiful, nature is and the sky is. Just the sun on the clouds. It's crazy looking at the clouds. I mean, it's just so many things to be grateful for. I mean, and we just get caught up in all the shit in our lives, and so look for those things. And I think the last thing that I had is stop apologizing for, and this is something that I do, for my feelings. I think when you do that, you're convincing yourself that you're not worth the space that you take up. You're demeaning yourself. And it's not true. You have this negative self-talk. And as soon as that starts, you have to stop it. First of all, you have to recognize that it's happening. And secondly, you have to stop it. You have to turn it into, nope, I know where this goes. This is an ugly road. I've been down this road before. I'm not packing a lunch. I'm not going down that road. I'm going to stop right now. And again, I would go back to the last one and just think about how lucky you are and grateful you should be. But you know what? What do I know? That's just the way I see it, and I'm sticking to it.